Hello, and welcome to Modern Media Review, a new podcast. I'm Robin Gibson.
And I'm Sean Gallagher.
And we're going to be reviewing media.
Modern media?
Yeah, well, hopefully modern media, like thinking about TV, radio. Is radio modern? Pretty modern. Websites, stuff like that.
We'll be doing all that.
Yeah.
How are we going to start off? How are we going to kick off?
I think, we know how we're going to kick off. I think we should start off with the...
it being seasonal and all.
Seasonal stuff, the Christmas TV adverts, which I've got to say has been, analysed a bit in the media recently, but we've had a lot of time to watch these, and I think we can...
And I'd like to say it's time not wasted.
Not at all. No, it's been thoroughly enjoyable, particularly as we've been able to follow the disappointing saga, or non-saga, of Kevin the Carrot, where it's disappointed me.
I know this is a massive disappointment to you, because it started so brightly for you as well, with the cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, and the video, which came out in November, was called Cliffhanger, and Kevin's, driving with his little fronds round the cliff edge, and he has got a little box of carrots in the back of his lorry. Well, knows that.
It was a nod to the Italian Job, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, a nod, yeah. A big nod, yeah. A huge nod that comes down to your knees.
And the point is, we were chatting about this, is that Kevin, obviously, when he was going to rent his big rig, what he should have done was got himself a transit van, because I think he's only carrying one box of carrots.
It's a crate, but it's a small crate. I don't think it's any need for that sort of thing, and the transit wouldn't have swung off the back of the cliff like that. Problem here is, they called it the Cliffhanger, and yet they've done umpteen adverts since then with Kevin and other carrots in it, and none of them has told you what happens after the cliffhanger.
Well, I think it's
very disappointing. I want the actual real story, the drama.
The narrative.
Narrative, yeah. Yeah, linearity is what I want. We've got a little list here of the ones they've done. They've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new ones. And yet they're all a bit naff. There's one where a parsnip's trying to capture some carrots, which ain't right, is it? Evil parsnip. Carrots and parsnips are the same thing, really, aren't they?
Root vegetables, basically.
Should be allies in the vegetable world.
Basically. And what
Even
we're doing
if they weren't, the thing should come together for them at Christmas, shouldn't it?
Put aside their differences.
Exactly, and play football in the no man's land between the carrot rows and the parsnip rows.
A la 1914.
Yeah.
But the problem is, as well, with this, is that what have parsnips ever done to us?
Nothing, and they haven't done anything to carrots either.
But they're being demonised.
So they've animated these characters, obviously, so we can't really compare
they're not real.
them to normal parsnips. No.
But
anyway,
just on that point, isn't it true now that when you go down the aisles of Aldi, that the carrots are all gone, and yet you've got a stockpile of parsnips?
No, you misunderstood me when I was telling you about when I was in Aldi. It's the toy Kevin the Carrots that have all gone. The toy parsnips are still there.
No one wants them.
No, but the actual vegetables themselves are selling equal numbers, I think.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That at least the buying public haven't been turned against parsnips by this terrible onslaught of abuse.
The thing is that they've done these kind of fairy tale follow-ups with, like, some prince and princess thing, and
what's Disney?
Snow White and all that.
Disney bingo.
And they've got Little Red Riding Hood, which is quite good, that one, simply because it's got that good line about the parsnip in bed. Something unsightly, a hideous parsnip in grandmother's nightie. The point is...
I thought they were talking about me then.
Well, they get into a stage here where I'm thinking, what is happening? Kevin isn't even in most of them. And then he suddenly went completely off-piste and did Veg Dwight, which is a
fantastic
of the Elton John,
which we're going to talk about in a minute.
Well,
but
unfortunately, yeah.
Well, it's true.
And then they had one called Finale, which has only just come out. So I'm thinking, here's the finale. We're gonna. I shouldn't have been so stupid, because there's been nothing in between the cliffhanger. But
you are holding on to this cliffhanger, mate.
It's not going to happen. All it is a repeat of Little Red Riding Hood, with a sacrifice of a parsnip at the end, hung on one of Rudolph's antlers. Very disappointing.
Well, very disappointing for Rudolph, because as far as I can see from the advert, the string isn't long enough for him to actually eat the parsnip.
Well, no, it isn't. It seems that would Rudolph want a vegetable sacrifice anyway? He's not that kind of character, is he? Isn't he sort of a nice guy?
Yeah, well, you'd
reindeer.
Reindeer, yeah.
Anyway, the problem is these ads have just all become about selling stuff, haven't they? They're not really in the true spirit of the... Well, maybe it is the true spirit.
It's a shock to me that advertisers are trying to flog us stuff sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. I don't think it was fair for them to set it up as a cliffhanger.
You won't let go?
No.
You won't drop the bone, will you?
No, but they did. And they also dropped the bone with their underpants ad, which is actually very good. It shows how bad I am at recognising people, Sean, right? Because when it came on the telly, first time I said, is that David Beckham? But it's not, it's just some bloke with a squeaky voice. I thought they'd got Beckham to put on a squeaky voice and complain about his underpants.
Well, isn't it a sort of like takeoff of one of the Dolce and Gabbana with David Gandy?
I'm not with you now, mate.
Well,
What's Dolce? It's fashion.
Well, I think it was a perfume. I mean, it is a fashion line, obviously, but you would know that very well looking at you now.
TK Maxx takes care of all my fabric needs.
Yeah, but you do love a label.
Yeah, but they've got them all at TK Maxx.
For half the price.
Levi's, this is it, Hardy Amos, Adidas, they're all from TK Maxx.
That's very good.
Yeah.
But I guess if they brought David Beckham in, it probably would have cost them something like £7 million.
Yeah, I know. They wouldn't have been able to afford it. Talking of Reg Dwight, we've got to say, right, that this whole thing with the John Lewis ad has been done to death in a way.
And I think rightly so, because it was quite shocking, to be frank. The actual advert where Elton John appears, obviously Elton John Lewis it now appears to be, weighs in at 2 minutes 20 seconds. And
that's a long ad.
Of that 2 minutes 20 second, the John Lewis logo features for 2 seconds at 2 minutes 18. The rest is Elton singing one of his own songs, which, as far as I can see, has nothing to do with Christmas. Although Ellie Goulding it was used by them in 2010.
How can you remember that?
With Ellie Goulding, because it obviously made such an impact.
I hate that sort of thing. By the way, I can imagine. I don't remember her doing it, but I can imagine it. This is all over advertising nowadays. There's a couple of them in the Christmas ads that do this. These kind of twee indie style singers re-recording classic songs with a different tempo and making them sound kind of sentimental and.
Well, what they really should have done if they were going to do that is get Nouvelle Vogue to do it.
Nouvelle Vague?
Sorry, yeah, Nouvelle Vague.
Well, you nearly got that one, eh?
Well,
No, I can't stand that sort of thing. But this is Elton doing the whole thing, right? The year song. The one about how he's not got much money, which is...
laughable.
Laughable.
£7 million to produce this advert.
Exactly.
Which is slightly more ironic than Alanis Morissette would have put.
But that's not irony, what she was on about.
Coincidence?
Just coincidence she was talking about. Complete... Irony just means saying the opposite of what you mean. Her stuff was just pure coincidence, completely misusing the word.
I think the most annoying thing about the whole thing was that, it's 2 minutes 18 seconds of pure Elton promotion. I mean, how much would this have cost to... by the way, he's launching his farewell tour, which I'm sure is going to be like a Frank Sinatra sort of thing. The whole point is that this farewell tour is being piggybacked by the John Lewis partnership. So at £7 million... Lewis.
Is that the Scottish
version? Yeah. So if you're a part of the John Lewis partnership, you're getting your Christmas bonus, and you're spunking away X number of million of pounds.
I'm not sure that the John Lewis partnership's quite as communist as they make out.
Well,
I don't think you just share out the profits at the end of the year, mate. And they've also got a problem because they've had a slight backlash from this ad, haven't they?
But a massive backlash.
And they've started actually taking the mickey out of themselves. Like the Waitrose ad, which is all part of the same communist bloc. Or basically, that's some people fast forwarding the Elton John ad.
I mean...
because they want to go and eat their... What is that thing they're eating, right? That came up in a quiz show. Some kind of cake. I'd never heard of it.
No, I'd never heard of it too. Something to do with Mr. Kipling.
Anyway,
but the point about the Elton John thing that really turned my stomach was the fact that your song would be downloaded through Spotify and iTunes in, a Pavlovian reaction to this whole thing. And so not only is he getting a whacking paycheck, and by the way, this thing is called The Boy and the Piano, yeah?
Yes.
It should be called The Fat Rich Bloke with Too Much Money.
Well, that's not a very poetic title, is it?
I guess not.
And it's not... You say Pavlovian downloads of your song and all this, but it's not in the charts, mate.
Yeah, but this
Look at that Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee's in it, and, she ain't
which is a classic tune.
Adverts. Step Into Christmas, Elton's an Elton one, but not that one, so it hasn't worked.
It has worked, because don't forget that this advert came out in November, whereas now we're getting closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
People are downloading the
Wizard. They also, they've gone so far that we just seen tonight, they've done a kind of making of film.
This is the...
Get at the end of David Attenborough documentary saying it was really hard to film these penguins.
It's unbelievable. And the He was so pleased with himself, this marketing director guy.
Well, I think he was the director, not a marketing director. I think he was the director of the film.
Oh, was it? Okay. But apparently they had 300 scripts which they could have chosen from, which I'm guessing 299 of which would have been better than this eulogy to Elton John.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
And
well, you know that guy, you know.
Well, the only thing I'm waiting for is now...
Sorry, that was a bit of a non sequitur. We'll get onto that guy in a minute.
But the point is that, you know, now we've had the making of The Boy and the Piano. What next? The director's cut, which rambles on for 4 hours.
Well, I think that was pretty long as it was, the making of one, you know. Absolutely. This actually, as people know, this kind of created a...
backlash.
Well, not really a backlash, but some geezer, this guy, as I call him, this guy, made his own supposedly touching Christmas video to prove that you could do it for 50 quid.
Which...
not 7 million.
Which was a fair enough point until you delved a little bit deeper, and he's into his neck as much as the rest of them.
Well, I know. Plus, that couldn't have cost 50 quid. I mean, there's one bit in that video where he appears in 3 places at the same time. You don't do that for 50 quid.
Well, not only that, mate, but his stage clothes that he was wearing, proper hipster stuff.
He's a hipster.
His walking shoes alone must be 300 or 400 quid.
Those big clumpy
yeah,
boots
them big
they wear
ones.
in the cereal bars.
Yeah, big. Yeah.
And he's got that bun on top of his head, hasn't he?
Yeah, the top knot.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm going to knock it because any self-respecting man shouldn't have a top knot.
The whole thing was very cloying, and there's a lot of cloying going on here, and it's this thing where he's got his tapes of his mum on a Walkman.
You know, and, you know, you're supposed to fill up with tears because she's obviously dead.
Well, it doesn't say she's dead.
Well, then, does she not speak?
Well,
why not just phone up then and say, hello, son, how are you?
She might have gone away somewhere else.
Prison?
It doesn't actually...
Maybe she was in prison.
Maybe she was in jail, yeah.
Yeah, sending tapes out.
I noticed when I was walking by Brixton Prison today, you know the stuff about the drones and all that, bringing in your Christmas presents with drugs? There's a huge net over the whole prison.
No way.
From the roof tiles to the wall. There's no way a drone can get in there.
Well, that's very nice of HMP, isn't it, to spoil Christmas for the boys?
Spoiling it, aren't they?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Anyway, this guy's got his Walkman, which is a bit of a nod to the past.
It is.
But it's a hipster nod to the past, isn't it? Like these people who now are buying cassettes, even though everyone knows they're rubbish, you know, and they wear out and they come out of the spool and all that.
It's crap. I mean, they might as well have said... It's so ridiculous, they might as well have said his mum was pressing vinyl. You know, if they wanted to be really hipster, it would have been his mum had sort of cut some vinyl to say how he was when he was 30 years old.
Wax cylinder.
Yeah, exactly.
Edison phonograph wax cylinder disc. Nothing sounds as good as the old wax cylinder.
You can't beat it, that crackling incoherent nonsense.
Waxy sound, yeah. Although, you say all this, right, but I was out today trying to buy a USB adapter for these microphones.
Okay.
And
don't tell me you went to...
I've been all over the place, right? And it's hard to get this modern stuff. Everyone goes...
Did you go to Argos?
Yeah, I went through about 300 things and they didn't have what I wanted. I got it in a little computer shop in the end. But my point is, this is meant to be the computer age, but could I get this? No, I could get fried chicken, I could get slippers, but I could get anything old-fashioned. No USB adapters. It's not modern at all, the outside world.
So you could have gone and bought...
We're sitting here with a laptop. We're modern, but the outside world's still living in the 70s, mate. The backlash from John Lewis actually inspired a pretty boring article in The Guardian. Well,
okay.
It wasn't, but it inspired... The John Lewis backlash inspired a sort of okay article in The Guardian about how Christmas ads have kind of dug themselves into a bit of a sentimentality ditch, which I do agree with, but they had an unilluminating...
An Illuminati.
An unilluminating article about the history of Christmas ads. It said, 1955 Christmas adverts are shown on British television for the first time. Then it goes blah, 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 and then it says nothing happens for a few decades. 1995, Coca-Cola appears. But when we...
What about the 70s?
What about the 70s? And if you look at the website, which we'll tell you about at the end, that's called modernmediareview.com, you will find an amazing Woolworths ad from, an unidentifiable year, undoubtedly in the 70s. And it was... This is where Christmas ads started. I mean, some people might not even know what Woolies is. Shop where you could buy anything, you know.
When did it close? A couple of years ago?
Nah, that was much longer ago than that. You're compressing time because you're old.
Cheers, mate.
They had an amazing lineup, and the celebrities in this flashed past so quickly you could hardly...
I mean, in this day and age, this would have basically brought down Western capitalism, the price of it. Because if we're paying, 7 million quid for an
One
Elton John, I mean, how much would you give for a Tony Blackburn or a Jimmy Young, Pat Coombs, or a David Jacobs?
No one knows who these people are, actually, but it was a quite amazing lineup. Pete Murray, Windsor Davis, Henry Cooper, Barry Sheen, Anita Harris, who I always thought was Rob Harris's daughter, but apparently she isn't. Harry Worth.
Bobby Crush was pretty good.
Well, Bobby Crush, a popular pianist of the 70s, he was absolutely awful.
Poor man's Liberace.
Poor man's Mrs. Mills. He was helping to advertise an electric organ for £36.95.
Which, referring back to Waitrose,
exactly,
is a touch.
Even John Lewis.
John Lewis, it's a touch cheaper than £872.
For that digital piano by Yamaha that they're flogging off the back of the Elton John ad.
Yeah, exactly, and which they didn't used to even sell.
And also the tune.
Oh.
That's the value of your Woolworths store today. I'm not going to sing it, but I remembered it. And compared to this continual misuse and abuse of old songs in these new Christmas ads, at least Woolworths wrote their own tune.
Do you think that when they were paying these guys, they did a sort of like supermarket sweep and said you've got a trolley and you can, whiz round the pick and mix, or go in and buy buy some gaffer tape, get some need. I mean, you could basically get anything in Woolies, couldn't you?
Yeah, I did notice the music centre. That's a thing that used to...
That was so expensive.
Yeah, but no one's going to know what that is either, Sean. It's like a record player combined with a cassette deck and a radio. 150 quid that was back then.
Which I think was the price of a house.
Probably. Price of a house and...
and change.
Change, yeah.
For your pick and mix.
Yeah. You could go to the cinema as well afterwards, yeah. Anyway, that's the Woolworths ad. It's not going to be on TV this year. The other one that there's been a lot of hoo-ha about is the Iceland ad, which, hasn't been on telly, because technically it's banned.
Well, a bit like Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Well, that's what Nicky Campbell said in the radio the other day. He was ranting on about anarchy in the UK, actually played it at 9 in the morning, and then he was gushing, frankly, in his manner.
Which is a bit weird, because isn't Nicky more of a Beatles man?
He loves the Beatles and the Stones, but he suddenly had been reinvented after the death of Pete Shelley as a punk rocker who spent his time, I don't know, sniffing glue. Probably bought it at Woolies, didn't he?
Yeah,
and
very cheap as well.
Listening to the Buzzcocks and Sex Pistols, and then he started ranting on about how you could now say bollocks in the radio nowadays, which I'm not sure you can, but he did. And then he said, "Didn't we love records that were banned? Frankie, relax." And then he couldn't think of any more.
Well, frankly, they didn't.
They weren't really banned.
Well, Mike Reid banned.
He just didn't play it. It's completely different. And this is the thing with this Iceland ad. They're not really banned. Clearcast is the new lot, not the ASA.
What happened to the advertising?
It's just boring.
Okay.
They're not gone. The Clearcast sounds more.
I mean, I didn't vote Brexit for Clearcast.
I didn't know you did.
Well, I didn't.
The Clearcaster said the political nature of Iceland's ad makes it unsuitable for television. They didn't say it can't go on it. The whole ad's a con because it was actually made by Greenpeace. So really it's a Greenland ad, not an Iceland ad. And
also it's a bit cheeky to hijack what is a proper concern for the environment just to sell, I don't know, prawn cocktails?
Iceland's a bit better than that now, mate. It's like Aldi.
I've not been there for years.
They do very good street food. Anyway, the ad, as everyone probably knows, is the little orangutan with the voice of Emma Thompson, very upset.
Which is very soothing, actually.
It's not meant to be soothing. You're meant to be upset.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, because the orangutan's forest been binned off because of palm oil.
I was just feeling very comfortably relaxed with the dulcet tones of the lovely Emma.
You're one of these people who doesn't listen to the lyrics, obviously. There's a little poem about how upset the orangutan is, and it's gone and lived in a little girl's bedroom because there's no forest left anymore. A bit far-fetched, if you ask me, and nothing to do with Christmas.
I've got to say, if I was an orangutan, I might prefer the little girl's bedroom. It's comfortable and blah blah blah.
It's not getting chopped down.
No.
Iceland have banned.
Who was the guy?
Well, they haven't banned palm oil because you can't ban it. They've removed it from their own brand product. But on the other hand, the guy from Iceland says we're not anti-palm oil, we're just anti-deforestation. So it's all very confusing, mixed messages.
Yeah.
What do you think they've replaced palm oil with?
Probably something...
Monkey spunk. How about that?
Yeah, I would probably
it?
give that a miss, but it would probably please the orangutan.
Yeah. We've done this Iceland thing to death, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll tell you the one I liked was, getting back to the seasonal songs, is the Mariah Carey All I Want for Christmas Is You, which Unbelievably, Visa have dropped into their advert.
That's an appalling, cynical ad, because Visa, of all people, are like bigging up the high street, saying, "Oh, come and shop at your local." I mean, for a start, who's going to? I suppose you might get your turkey at the butchers.
Well, you've got
butchers and
the whole point about it is
stationers
you've got your in the actual advert. You've got your butcher, your baker. All we needed was the candlestick
There's
maker.
no baker.
Really,
Is there a baker in it?
Yeah, of course there is.
No one makes candlesticks.
Anyway,
anymore.
they're all singing "All I Want for Christmas Is You," not realising that Visa are basically putting them out of business. But because everyone's buying everything off Amazon with their Visa cards.
Exactly, Amazon or the Into Centre or whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my local chippy is cash only. So try going down to your local butcher and buying your £5 of meat and put it on Visa.
I think you'll find you can pay with your iPhone at the local butcher now.
Really?
Yeah, it's all changed because they're trying to compete with the shopping centre.
Well, my butcher is also cash only.
But they'll never... Is he?
Yeah.
What do you get there then?
Buy him a nice bit of steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cow heels and tripe.
Yeah.
You know, the usual stuff you get in a butcher.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Anyway, these high street traders all warbling away, "All I want for Christmas is you." Complete nonsense. It's just a kind of desperate plea. No one goes and does their shopping in the high street. They do it, online or in a shopping centre.
Well, also what they'll also do is go down to your local high street, try on a pair of shoes or whatever, and then buy it online.
Yes, that's a kind of feel before you purchase thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people going to shops and feeling things and then going on.
Yeah, go and buy it somewhere else.
Cheaper online.
Yeah. What they should have shown was a load of empty high street shops and weeping shopkeepers.
A lot of people feeling things in the high street and then, going on and not
getting it
who's going to
online.
advertise. Amazon could have done that, couldn't they? Instead of their somewhat gruesome ad. With another of these old... Where do they get off with these old tunes?
It's a good tune.
Can You Feel It by the Jacksons?
It's a great tune. I mean, you can't knock the tune, but you can knock the advert.
Where are they getting these tunes from, though? I mean, if you're 18, half of these tunes in these ads, you'll never have heard them.
But I think you were right when I was saying to you, what's the demographic that they're aiming for? And you were saying it's not.
It's not. It's their demographic. It's like when you got an advert for a new Honda car with a fall on it. It's a demographic of the people who are making the ads. That's all you're hearing. Anyway, Amazon's got the cardboard boxes singing.
Doesn't look very seasonal.
Cardboard boxes. I mean, in that Woolies ad, they were all the presents had bows.
Whistles and bows.
No whistles, just bows. What's a whistle and bow?
The whole.
You're getting mixed up with bells and whistles, mate. Different figure of speech.
Okay.
These are just parcels with a bow on them. Anyway, the Amazon ad, I don't like it because I don't mind the singing parcels, even though they're brown cardboard boxes. What I do dislike is the guys in the fulfilment centre, as it's called, getting the spirit when in fact we.
Well, they
know
look
it.
so happy.
But they're not happy, is it? Their bladders are bursting with urine and their blood pressure's through the roof. This is according to the diary of the secret Amazon worker
On the
that I read
Guardian.
the other day in the Guardian. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's perfectly fair to sack somebody if they go to the bog more than twice a day.
I don't even know if you can go twice.
Well, maybe what they need to do is give them one of the sort of like cardboard boxes and attach it to their leg, and maybe you could just sort of like pee into that.
I don't think they're far off that in some of these places, mate.
Like some sort of colostomy bag.
I'm sure I've read that people have kind of been caught short and had to pee in receptacles that aren't WCs.
Which is a nice thought when you get your Amazon parcel through the post.
Well, you never know what you're going to get with Amazon, do you?
Seaweed.
Seaweed. I ordered a laptop and I got a box of seaweed.
Were you disappointed?
Well, no, they refunded me for the laptop.
Did you keep the seaweed?
Well, no, that was number 2. The first one, they just basically, the thing never came. And it turned out to be a ghost shop on the Amazon marketplace. Just ripped everyone off, took the money.
Wow.
Amazon took the shop. They refunded that one. That cost them 500 quid straight off for nothing. Then they sent me a box of seaweed. So someone's shifting the laptops out of the boxes at the depot and putting
Filling them with seaweed. Which is quite an effort, really, to go and gather seaweed.
I'd put something heavier in it. Because when it came to Toby, he's like, well, this isn't really a laptop, is it?
And
it was gourmet seaweed, though.
If it was up to me, I'd do it like the way they deliver newspapers in America, where the kid just drives down the centre of the street and just fires the newspapers. I'd just fire these packages.
That would have been a great advert, actually.
In the general direction, do you know what I mean?
Anyway, the Amazon one it got me down. As did the Marks and Spencer's one with these people, stars.
Oh, the lovely Holly Willoughby.
Must-haves. But I don't really know who Holly Willoughby is.
She's a national treasure, Robin.
Okay, well, I don't really know her. She's not on the programmes I watch.
Well, she's on this morning. She's on Celebrity Juice. Captain on Celebrity Juice with Keith Lemon. And just come out of the jungle as a presenter.
She's a presenter.
Yeah.
Of things in general.
So I'm guessing that if she's not on BBC
I
Four,
thought Ant and Dec did I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that Ant and Dec, because they are interchangeable.
Yes, one of them.
One of them got absolutely shit-faced and crashed his motor, and obviously had to go into some sort of rehab after that.
Well, he deserves a rest. I mean, if I got drunk and crashed a motor, I'd want a rest as well.
You would need a rest.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
So she's on that, but she's in this ad, right? And it's just a load of envy and greed about nice Christmas presents. It's all must have.
Well, it's a little bit like the John Lewis thing, where they've sort of like totally got the zeitgeist wrong in a way. Do you know what I mean? That people are fed up. Well, if you think about people struggling to pay for Christmas, and I don't want to sound massively right on here, but and you see these fantastic images of which are basically very rich media stars getting even richer and showing you all these things that you probably can't even afford to buy anyway. It's a little bit galling.
Yeah, I know. Well, galling, that's not the half of it if you're at a food bank. Okay, so then we get on to Boots, another one that sort of, well, it didn't get me down.
Well, I know it bugs you.
Well, it didn't bug me, I just thought it was a bit rubbish with the sort of naff version of She's the One by Robbie Williams called She's Me Mum, and it was all very sentimental as they all are.
And it's desperate. Are we really using Robbie Williams? Well, basically a deification of Robbie Williams, that we no longer sing Christmas carols, we sing versions of She's the One or Angels.
It's the opposite.
At least Angels is Angels.
It's the opposite of deification. It's the absolute opposite. It's the secularisation of Christmas. I don't think we should.
You got that out well, mate.
I don't think we should have brought that up because I can't say secularisation properly. But that's what it is. Is that maybe it's reflecting modern life? Absolutely
reflecting modern life. Because the interesting thing about this Boots advert is that it shows a single parent.
Does it? I didn't even notice that.
Well, Are
you sure it's a single parent?
I've got more empathy than you.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I don't have much empathy.
It's interesting that there's a couple of these adverts where it's not reflecting what we always thought of the standard family. Is mum and dad, 2.2 children.
2.3, I think.
Is it 2.3?
Yeah.
And 0.5 of a Labrador.
Yes.
Well, these are different, and it's quite interesting. So it's quite nice that the mum is on her own and with the kid and all the rest of it. But what I can't stand about it is that we use this sort of rehashed Robbie Williams She's the One thing. You know,
it's back to the old demographic thing of the producers, isn't it? And also middle-aged people who are the ones who are likely to be spending the money, because the one that they chopped into the Amazon, they've now got a new compilation of Amazon stuff. It's got Ooh La La by the Faces,
which is also
her dad
on his own, taking the girl to university,
designed to appeal to us because I love that song.
Well, it's a great tune.
Although it is beginning to sound a bit like I Love the 70s here.
It's just one of those things where if you chuck in stuff that is familiar to you and you feel happy with, you form some relationship with the product, I guess. I don't know.
All right. I think you're taking it a bit far there, to be honest. I don't want to form a relationship with the product. And what's more, talking about products you get at Boots, who's ever successfully bought a Christmas present at Boots? You might as well go to Cost Cutter. It's completely pointless. It's not. Maybe for
or PC World.
Well, yes, they have got an ad as well, haven't they? Curry's PC World with the AEG electric oven.
So
roasting the chestnut.
You do love an AEG electric oven.
No, I'm just saying that, that's their idea of a thoughtful Christmas present.
Which would be quite bizarre.
God knows how much that costs anyway. Anyway, the point is here that, Boots is not the place to go.
Or if you're really desperate, and it's late on Christmas Eve and you've not done...
I've never been in that position, but I'll take your word for it.
I find myself in it constantly every year. And the worst one I ever did was going to a motorway service station.
I don't believe you actually did that.
Okay, I didn't deliberately drive to a motorway service station, but I was on my way to meet the folks for Christmas and all the rest of it, and I'd bought rag all. And I ended up going into the motorway service station and buying some rancid flowers off the forecourt.
Nobody gives anyone flowers as a Christmas present.
I thought it'd be nice, and I was desperate.
That's pure stuff, mate.
Well, it was either that or charcoal.
What do you mean charcoal?
Well, it was charcoal left over from barbecuing season in the
Oh,
summer.
you mean at the service station?
Yeah.
Right. It's not something you actually chose to get as a Christmas present.
Not really. I wouldn't normally buy charcoal for many people, unless they specifically asked for it.
Yeah, well, no one's ever asked me for charcoal.
Not many people do.
No.
Although, in my house, when I was a kid, you got charcoal if you weren't well behaved.
You actually got charcoal.
No, the threat was charcoal.
Cobblers to boots. It's a lot of nonsense.
It is, absolutely.
But equally bad is the Tesco advert showing a load of people doing Christmas in different ways. That's in inverted commas, by the way. It says they're doing stuff differently, but all they're really doing is eating Tesco products. No one's out dogging or doing DIY, are they?
No, they're not.
They're just doing Christmas with Tesco products.
And the weirdest thing, in terms of Christmas, is they're doing it to the soundtrack of Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac.
Why is that weird?
Because it's a breakup song.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't listen to the lyrics. I thought that was just a song about, maybe taking a different route.
Well, Robin, I'm all about the heart. Whereas you probably thought about going your own way.
I did, yeah. I just thought of
doing the scenic route home, or
something like that.
Or unless someone was following you and possibly going to assassinate you, needed to change your...
Assassination, you need to be important to be assassinated. Well, otherwise you're just murdered. Assassination, you have to be like John Lennon or something like that,
But yeah, so the whole point about Christmas is it's supposed to be about bringing people together. And if you play Go Your Own Way...
About taking a different
route or whatever, it's actually a breakup song. And it's also... weirdly, which I'm sure they didn't think about when they put it as the soundtrack to their really appalling Christmas ad, is that it probably epitomises Christmas in so many ways that it works for most people. It involves either breaking up from your partner or falling out with your in-laws, outlaws, or loved ones.
Yes, true. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Boots, Tesco, the other ones...
We mentioned the one that we said we were never going to do it as PC World, but they got in somehow.
Yeah, rubbish that was. Dickensian nonsense.
Yeah.
And I did notice in that, it's like all these period dramas, no one's got bad teeth. If those people had actually been around in the Dickensian world, they'd all have,
Toothless.
no teeth, or if they were rich, they'd have wooden false teeth, wouldn't they? Wooden teeth.
Or they'd be pulling them out of the urchin on the street.
Exactly. I mean, all these kind of second-rate ones, really. Boots, Tesco's, Waitrose was bad.
It's almost like they've made a conscious decision not to try that hard. It's almost like when you're a sort of like football team and you know you're going to get relegated, you're sort of saying, we'll give it the big one and all the rest of it, but you
think Tesco know they're going to get relegated? I just think they're trotting out a load of sentimental cliches, and the reason that I like the KFC ad is that there is no sentimental cliches in it. I'm not sure if this has been on the telly or if it's just online.
It has been on telly.
It's an amazing advert with, and I'm vegetarian, so I shouldn't really like it. The chicken having a showdown.
Well, I'm vegetarian too.
Oh, you know,
trying to be,
It's annoying being a vegetarian now because veganism has become trendy, and people like me who've been vegetarian for like 30 odd years are deemed to be not doing enough. It's very annoying.
Well, this is very you, Robin, because you're like somebody who likes a band when they used to play in a telephone box. I appreciate telephone boxes don't exist anymore.
And bands never played in them either.
And you would always say, love that band, until they got a following of more than 5. It is true.
But I do still go and see them in big venues.
But that's cabaret, isn't it?
I went to see Kendrick
Isn't that
Lamar.
cabaret?
I went to see Kendrick Lamar at the Wembley Arena this year.
Okay.
That's not a telephone box, mate.
Yeah, but that's cabaret.
Anyway, back to KFC.
Yes,
Never mind
which
cabaret.
is the most stunningly offbeat left of centre. Left of centre.
Chicken and the turkey having a showdown.
In a winter wonderland.
Well, no, it's in a sort of a snowscape that looks like English farmland, even though it's soundtracked by Ennio Morricone, sort of.
It's a spaghetti western.
And they've got their slogan in it. Turkey comes and goes, but chicken's here to stay. Now, that's not entirely altogether true, is it?
No.
For a start, I'd have imagined that the turkey itself would be surprised to be out and about at that time of year.
I'd imagine that the turkey was thinking, what's happened to all my mates?
His mates of the past week or so.
Yeah, there seem to be few of us. There's less of us now.
The chicken would have had less mates for a shorter
Well,
time,
yeah, the turkey might have had mates for about 2 weeks.
Chicken would just be a few days.
Hours. Isn't it hours?
Hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, chicken's here to stay.
However, I don't think it's going to be that chicken.
No, that chicken's probably in a bucket now. A big bucket with fries, you know.
Which, in a way, is, when they say chicken's here to stay, it's non-specific, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a chicken. Anyway, the KFC advert's the best one.
It is the best one by far.
By a mile.
And
by a long way. I don't think we need to say much more about Christmas adverts now.
Well, I mean, we saved the best to last.
We did, yeah. And if you'd like to find out a bit more about what we're doing, there's a website, modernmediareview.com, and on that you'll see quite a lot of stuff. A few reviews.
Well, we've got Rowan Talent doing some fantastic
Rowan
cartoons.
doing some cartoons. We'll be having a tune of the day, which I change every day. They're all really good.
Yeah, but too obscure, mate.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And all that remains to say really is thanks for listening. If you have actually listened to this.
And please listen again.
Listen again, we'll be back next week. So in the meantime, prematurely, happy Christmas.